let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And I mean, part of the process of just turning inwards is getting your body situated. So if you are sitting at your desk, feet flat on the floor, maybe just get a sense of what's underneath your feet, and your knees about it, hips width apart, shoulders aligned with the hips. And imagine you have this string of pearls of light stretching from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. And that string is lengthening your spine, putting some space in between your vertebrae. And bring the mind to the crown of the head and just allow a little softening there. Maybe you feel some sensation. Maybe some tingling, maybe not. Then move down to the forehead and just release any tension there in the forehead. Around the eyebrows, around the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, the temples, and the back of the tongue. Just allow your whole face, your whole head, just to soften, to release tension. And then go to the back of the neck. Just relax any tension there. Relax the shoulders and allow your shoulder blades just to drop down. And then relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And breathe. Notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And then be aware of any sounds that might be in your environment right now. And then just try not to follow them with the mind, and just notice the extent to which your consciousness reaches out the moment it hears a sound. Someone in the kitchen, somebody outside, cat, the wind. And then just notice the thoughts that might be arising in the mind. When we start looking at our thoughts, it's often just a great big fat jumble of stuff. But as we start to settle down, we can at least say to ourselves, oh, I'm thinking. Kind of sets the tone. And then as you're thinking, and notice what those thoughts might be, and just try to, not follow them along, follow after them, and just allow them to arise and abide, and then just to, release. Try not to criticize your thoughts or, check whether they're even real, or did you just make up a scenario of some kind? Are you ruminating? Or are you just simply planning? planning tomorrow, planning the rest of this evening. And then just very gently, bring the mind back. And then think about our loved ones. And you can bring them into your meditation with you. Just notice their face. All those things that you love about them so much. The way they might smile, their laugh. And then, the ones you don't like so much. You have different karma with these people. And then there's our strangers. And you can remember that they could possibly change place at any time. This relationship, these relationships. Regardless of that, all these people are equal. They all have this wish to be happy, this wish to be free from suffering and having an extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. And we find that very difficult to believe in the ones we don't like. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life and by extension, all sentient beings. So we start by thinking that there is no negativity that can't be purified. Such a beautiful way to start our meditation. Because usually, we're like, oh, I did this thing, I'm so bad person. I never, why did I do that thing? No, it can all be purified. Maybe it would be better if you hadn't have done it, but you did. So now we just move forward and we have this beautiful practice to help us. So this purification process is psychological. So we start by creating negativity with our mind. It all comes from the mind. So then we can change it by creating positivity instead. And so we purify by applying these 4 opponent powers. And the first of these is regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And this reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we are necessarily going to experience some kind of suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of this future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then we think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here's where we come to the second power, the power of reliance. And it has 2 sections. The first is refuge, and the second is developing compassion. So in terms of refuge, here we have this beautiful Buddha that's also behind me. It does need a little bit of repair. But anyway, this Buddha was given to, this particular tanka was given to Judith by Lamsa Rinpoche. So it's quite special. This image is really quite beautiful. So we're relying upon this Buddha, Vajrasattva, as a doctor in a way, who has these methods that we can use to purify ourselves. And we're not needing this Buddha to forgive us. We're not looking for a higher power. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon these methods. So you can imagine Vajrasattva on the crown of your head. And if all that detail is too much, just imagine a beautiful ball of white light. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have this section now on compassion. And in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, and the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So you can think of people that you maybe have harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and we have compassion for them because of the harm they've caused you. They're going to suffer in the future. So you don't need to do anything. You don't need to feel revenge. You don't need to feel, haha, you're going to get yours. You just have compassion. Because, gosh, it's going to come back sometime. So we do a strong aspiration, make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all beings, and think I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. We start with the body. Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And now is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dina meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So imagine you're walking into a room that's pitch black, and then you flick on the switch, and that light that comes dispels all the darkness. So I think the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, neediness, anger, depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, all of this is instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita meboa Sutukaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. I'll be really delighted that all your delusions, all of our delusions, this is the source of our suffering. This is the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech. So imagine that is completely purified, gone, and think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So we just imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita meboa Sutokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita meboa Sutokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream, even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And this is a really crucial step, is this is the determination, the place where we make a determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. So as with anything, unless you make a decision to do something, it's not actually going to happen. So you have to put a bit of effort. You know, wishing is good. Aspiring. We need to aspire to refrain from harming. We need to aspire to have the conditions of our life where we are able to refrain from harming, where we don't live in a place where there's a ton of insects that we're accidentally treading on, or like that. So think of something that you would like to work on. And don't forget to rejoice first, your efforts in coming along. For some of you, it's really very late, so it's kind of amazing that you make this effort. It's beautiful. So very inspiring for those of us on the West Coast. So rejoice for that. And then think of something you'd like to work on. I would think maybe journaling is quite a good idea, because you can always flick back and look at, oh, what was I working on last January? Oh, that was going on, and now it's resolved. Amazing. So this kind of determination to sort of get involved with ourselves and work on ourselves in this way, this determination to not do things again and to try and refrain from doing things that are harmful, is what gives us strength to change. We just have to decide it's a thing that we're going to do. So Vajrasattva's delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would always recommend to meditate on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a moment. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. We can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all this positive energy we've created doing this purification to all living beings, even the ones we don't like, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then we just think about His Holiness Dalai Lama, who's getting older now. So just really make a strong wish for His Holiness to be able to continue to teach, to give empowerments. Such a precious being. And then we make strong prayer for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, for his unmistaken reincarnation. It's been over a year now. And then think about your own very precious, very sweet teachers who are always out there looking out for you, wanting to help you, giving advice, giving teachings. So like that. Make strong prayer for them to live long as well. Okay, everybody. Lots of love.